Welcome back to the third final week of the Premier League. We've got a title race, a relegation battle, European spots all up for grabs, and a guest who is an EFL footballer. Thogdad, how you doing?
I don't know whether to be happy or sad, Theo. Peterborough against Bolton. We go 2-0 up in 6 minutes, and some bloke behind me, he's got flash scores on. He's like, Derby are 1-0 up. Playoffs for us.
Always
there.
Bloody flash score. Too quick in the stadium, aren't they? Download the Flash Score app with the first link in description to be updated for football instantly.
Tell you what.
But we're here to talk about the Premier League, and thanks to their standings, I can see how close it is with the goal difference. So much up for grabs.
So much, Theo. Now, last week, Tom Kendrick was our guest. I didn't realise he was an actor, Theo, as well as a Leicester
Ted Lasso special,
fan.
Dad. What a legend.
7 points he got. I got 10 points. Thogden, you got 13 points. But is it too little too late? And the first game is Luton against Everton. But Theo, I've got to admit, I've not really done my research. I have to put on the Thogdad glasses.
You always come on with your research.
I know, I have to go and flash score this time. I had a few beers last night.
Why have you got your phone out?
I've got standings here.
Dad,
we look at the standings. Luton in 18th place against Everton in 15th. Luton 1 point ahead of Burnley.
Wow.
And 1 point behind Nottingham Forest. Thank you, Flash Scores, for helping me out. But talk to me about this game. Can Luton pull something out of the bag?
I think when the Premier League made the fixture list, they checked their flash score and thought, okay, this could be a relegation 6-pointer. It hasn't turned out to be, because the Toffees have gone 3 wins in 3 games, all home matches. They've smashed it. And to think they've had 2 different point deductions around the season and still come away from it, it shows you how much of a fortress Goodison is, and what a manager Sean Dyche is when he's got the trackies on. That was the big difference, but they're away now.
But Theo, I'm going to have to go back onto Flash Scores and look at the last few games. The last matches for Luton, they have lost 4 out of 5. The last matches for Everton, they have won 4 out of 5. So form-wise, it's got to be an Everton win, this.
And the form that you've just shown me on Flash Score is backed up by the fact that Luton have 1 win in 15 matches. I know they love Rob Edwards and the project that he's got, but it's looking more convincing that they're getting relegated unless they find a way to get 3 points here. They've got a funnily good record against Everton. They've beaten them twice this season. Colton Morris has scored in both. He'll be thinking about going for it again.
He will, Theo. Now, Everton, obviously, the reason they're staying up brilliant defensively, you've talked about Branthwaite, Tarkowski, Pickford, but in this game, Theo, the pressure is off. Will they be more expansive? Will they push up? Will they care about this game? Because they are safe now.
I think Luton will want it more, because Everton are guaranteed that 71st successive season in the Premier League, which, by the way, is outstanding. Now it's time for Luton to have some fun. They're going to win this game. They're going to want it more. 2-1. Big result for Rob Edwards. They're going to be singing, and it's going to be a big upset. Come on.
I see what you did there. It's another Thogden joke, and then we bring out the Jeremy Beadle poster. What is your real prediction,
Dad, all I'm saying is this. Nottingham Forest, you're going to want to check your flash score, because Luton are going to be above you at the start of the week.
There is no way in the world that Luton will beat Everton this weekend.
Okay.
It's going to be Luton 1, Everton 1.
Right, let's go over to our special guest. I haven't introduced him yet. It's the Wrexham goalkeeper, currently partying in Las Vegas because they got promoted to League One. Mark Howard, how are you, my friend?
No way.
Got a little bit of a headache celebrating another promotion with Wrexham, but yeah, it's all good. Sean Dyche has brought back his tracksuit, and it just seemed inevitable for an Everton win for me, to be honest. I'm going Everton 2-0.
And the next game is Arsenal against Bournemouth. It is first against 10th. 2 teams who won last weekend. Now talk to me about Arsenal, Theo, because that game against Spurs, 3-0 up at half-time, they nearly bottled it.
I wasn't familiar with your game, the Gunners. I didn't expect you to just walk all over Spurs like they did. I mean, to think they played 4 games while Spurs were just on the training ground every day. You know, they hadn't played since the 7th of April. Arsenal have travelled to Bayern and played loads of difficult Premier League matches. Villa, they still came away with a win. Arteta is building something special, and if they don't win the Premier this season, then they will do it in the future.
Talking of brilliant players this season, let's talk again about Kai Havertz. He got a goal, he got an assist, he could have got another assist, possibly the player of the game, and people were mocking him a year ago.
A lot of people are deleting tweets right now, let's just say that. And don't forget that Flash Score will update you to see who's top of the table between Arsenal and Man City during the final few matches in this title race.
But let's talk about Bournemouth, because they smashed Brighton last week, despite having a lot less possession. And what I saw from that game, brilliant on the counter-attack, that team. And let's have a look at their away record.
Well, this is what I didn't realise, that Bournemouth...
Scores. According to the away record, which you get from Flash Scores, they are 8th in the league. What a shame that Bournemouth are just going to fall short of European competition.
There's always next year, and with Andoni Iraola, anything is possible with a bit more investment. Solanke on 21 goal contributions, Dad.
But let's get straight to scores. I'm going to go Arsenal 3, Bournemouth 1.
We agree, which is gutting because I need to catch points. A 2-goal difference. But let's go over to Mark. What do you think, mate?
Obviously, Arsenal's home form's been unbelievable all season. That's why it's put them in the position they're in. Definitely fancy the home win, even though it is the early kickoff. I think Bournemouth will score. I think Arsenal will win 3-1, so I'm going for the extra point.
Brentford against Fulham is 16th against 13th. It's a mid-table London derby. Now, Brentford lost to Everton at Goodison Park, but it didn't matter because they are safe. What's going to happen here, Theo?
The West London rivalry. This is just bragging rights now. I don't think either team have much to play for in the league, and it's hard to call Brentford. They went from winning and scoring 5 against Luton to travelling to Merseyside and losing goalless. So it's hard to call this Thomas Frank side. They actually lost the Everton game to just 1 shot on goal. But their record against the Whites is good. They've only lost 2 games from the last 10 meetings, so they'll come in confident. Yeah.
But Fulham, one call you did get right. Muniz, Theo. He's scoring goals.
He's always scoring, and everyone bought him and sold him, and I've kept him. That's the beautiful thing. An assist 2 weeks ago, a goal last week. I think he'll keep getting something. I see Fulham still coming out this game with at least a point. It's just clicking under Marco Silva, and it's quite an exciting time for both these clubs. It's actually funny that this could be a possibility of the first consecutive away wins in London since August 2003 for Fulham.
Well, all I'm thinking about, Theo, is finish this season and Matthew Benham, the owner of Brentford, can come back to playing football with us on a Thursday. That's what matters to me.
That's a good point.
It's going to be 2-1 to Brentford.
I'm going to go a 1-1 draw, Dad. Ooh. A 1-1 draw. I can't see Fulham giving you guys a win.
Both teams are a bit hit and miss at the moment. I'm struggling to get away from a draw on this one, actually. The only thing I'm thinking is it's an end of the season game, so I'm going to go 2-2.
Come on, Dad. What's the next game?
I'm not saying it, Theo.
Why not? What are you doing?
Because there's somebody there in Swansea who has not downloaded the Flash Scores app.
Oh my... You're right. Wait, they haven't hit the like button either. What are they doing?
What is... Oh, wait a minute. It's all changing.
Wow, thank you for downloading it.
Brilliant.
I mean, they've only just found the best.
It's free, isn't it?
It's a free app, yeah. All right, well, let's crack on, Dad.
Burnley against Newcastle United is 19th against 7th. It's an important game at both ends of the table. Let's start with Burnley. Okay. What a draw against Manchester United. I knew that would happen, and I didn't have the guts to predict it.
Vincent Kompany is really... It's a purple patch, and they're doing well. They have to now turn these draws into wins if they want to survive.
And that is the point there. They've drawn 3 of the last 5, but only one of the last 5 is a win. They need 3 points here, but against a Newcastle team that's won 3 of the last 4.
And it's a Newcastle team that relegated them in 21-22. It's a Newcastle team that relegated Sheffield United last week. I can't see Newcastle holding back.
Wow, I tell you what though, Alexander Isak, he got 2 goals last week. I've said this all along, he is a fine striker, one of the best in the Premier League.
Yeah. Oh, and Dad, former Turf Moor chief Eddie Howe will be looking to get 3 points back over here, right?
He will, Theo. But you know what? Newcastle are on good form at the moment. They're a better team than Burnley. This is going to be an away win, narrowly 2-1.
Well, Newcastle scored 5 last week, and I think this week they'll only score 1. Burnley are going to find a way to win. Vincent, get the job done. 2-1.
Oh my God, I cannot believe that. Over to the lad from Wrexham.
The way that Burnley played against Man United and they had the margin share of possession and they created more chances. I think you've got me on for a lovely week of high-scoring games, and I don't see this being any different. I'm going for a 3-1 away win.
Sheffield United against Nottingham Forest, 20th against 17th, but this is one of the most important games of the day. Now, Sheffield United smashed by Newcastle, now conceded 97 goals. They've lost the last 4 games, and you know what, Theo? I'm going to go into Flash Scores. Morgan Gibbs-White. I've just realised from reading this, he used to play on loan at Sheffield United.
Wow.
Could he be the one to do the damage?
I know Sheffield United are already relegated and they're conceding a lot of goals, but they've got to play for pride, play for the home fans.
That is all they're playing from. Now, Nottingham Forest against Man City were not bad. Chris Wood, that's a game he'll want to forget. Can't believe those misses.
More misses than Henry VIII.
All of your jokes are bad, Theo.
They're nearly as bad as yours.
Do you know what? Flash Scores, you should write jokes for Theo, honestly.
Yeah, if you could get a few more jokes in your preview, that would save me.
I'd download it again.
My jokes are miserable, but it's not been as miserable in April as Sheffield United's form. They conceded 20 times in a month.
Theo, the goal difference is -63. That is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Sheffield United 1, Nottingham Forest 2. It's a massive game. The fight is between Forest and Luton and Burnley.
They've been so unlucky over the last few attempts. They should have led against City, and it's a different game. game, and now they're going to end that 4-game winless run. Sheffield United 0, no surprises, Nottingham Forest 2.
Over to Mark Howard in Wales. What do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, unfortunately, one of my former clubs, Sheffield United, is a great club. It's sad to see them get relegated, but it's just been one step too far for them this year. I think they almost got promoted a year too early. I think Sheffield United will go out and give a really good account of themselves. I see it actually being a bit of a tight, edgy game. I just see that little bit of quality from Notts Forest, and I'm going for a 2-0 away win.
Manchester City against Wolverhampton Wanderers is second against 11th. Now, if we look at flash scores at the standings, Manchester City are second in the league, but they've got the game in hand. If they win that, they go 2 points ahead. But look at the top scorers. I love this bit of the app, Theo. Haaland, 21 goals and 5 assists.
But don't write off Watkins and Isaac.
So Manchester City beat Nottingham Forest without Haaland starting, without Foden playing whatsoever. But of course, Haaland came on and scored, goes to the top of the Golden Boot. What's going to happen here, though?
Well, Pep's boys have responded perfectly since that Champions League defeat with 3 wins to 0. And it's actually the Wolfpack who turn up as one of 3 league teams who have given City a defeat this season. So maybe there'll be a little bit of confidence there, but their manager won't be on the touchline. Gary O'Neill is finally receiving the touchline ban from a previous thing that happened at West Ham away. He's finally given an 8k fine, and he won't be allowed to speak to his players like Pep can. So I'm expecting an easy, controlled City win and a Haaland brace. FPL captain for sure.
The bookies are saying 3% chance of Wolves winning this one, and I agree. Man City 3, Wolves 1.
We normally expect Man City to open up and absolutely destroy teams. I think this one will be a bit tighter and a bit more nervy. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 home win.
Chelsea against West Ham United, 9th against 8th, and the Chelsea boys are trying to swap places with West Ham. Now, Theo, Chelsea against Villa, I've got to admit this, 2-0 at half-time. I switched off and went to bed because I was knackered that day.
Seriously?
It was a 2-2 draw in the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a great comeback. They fought well. I think Villa players are tired, to be honest. Do they have a thick enough squad for all the European matches, home and away, Premier League, everything?
But I saw the highlights, Theo. That Gallagher screamer was incredible.
Oh, yeah. Great little left foot finish into the top boot. I mean, watching that in the pub with my friends, I was just going like, wow, okay, Conor Gallagher. The Hammers' form away from home has been awful. Disgraceful. And Chelsea at Stamford Bridge is a different Chelsea.
That is very true, Theo. But let's not forget, West Ham drew 2-2 with Liverpool.
Yeah, but that was at home. Cole Palmer will be looking for that top scorer record in the Premier League. He's 1 goal off Haaland. And with Wolves at home, he's going to need to score here, won't he?
Do you know what, Theo? I'm just going to say Chelsea 2, West Ham 1.
We agree again. Chelsea to win by 1 goal. Let's see if the Wrexham GK agrees.
Both teams are in different form. They score goals, but they concede goals. I want to go 2-1 Chelsea. I think they're just going to edge it.
Brighton and Hove Albion against Aston Villa. We love it. It is 12th against 4th. It's an exciting encounter down on the south coast. Now, talk to me about Brighton, Theo, because they had 70% possession against Bournemouth. They lose 3-0, 2 points in 5 games. What's going wrong?
Well, they do not care anymore. De Zerbi's probably got his mind on the Napoli job and or whatever. I mean, Barcelona's no longer available because Xavi's extended. I feel like when we talk about Brighton, we're no longer talking about Brighton.
Yeah.
We're talking about where the manager goes. Ooh. And that's the problem. You know, with every high, there's a low. We're seeing the other end of what can happen when his heart isn't in it.
Do you know what, Theo? Brighton have been a selling club in recent years, and they've done some brilliant business, mostly to Chelsea. But you can't be a selling club forever, can you? At some point, you've got to invest in your squad and say, we want to go to Europe.
As much as Aston Villa are playing Olympiacos on Thursday and probably don't want to travel away here down to the south coast, but I still think they'll come here and smash them. In the reverse fixture, they won 6-1. I can't back the Seagulls for anything right now. 2-0. Villa 2.
Wow, and I'm going to go Brighton 1, Aston Villa 2.
I still see Villa scoring goals here. I've been really impressed with Unai Emery. I think he's done a fantastic job this season. I think there'll be a couple of goals in this game. I'm going for Aston Villa to win 2-1.
Liverpool against Tottenham Hotspur is 3rd against 5th. Yes. Potentially the game of the weekend. Now, Liverpool dropped points at the Olympic Stadium. The talking point there, of course, was Mo Salah and Klopp. What's gone wrong at Liverpool?
It's the last match where it happened. The Mo Salah breakdown. Liverpool have done well to keep that under the cracks, but there's clearly a fallout. It feels like that West Ham 2-2 result ended their title hopes.
Yeah, you know what? When a boss leaves, and it could be a manager in football, it could be a boss at a bank, you lose your authority. When you know the boss is going 3 months or 6 months.
I'm just speculating, but Mo Salah had a massive contract offer from Saudi Arabia in January, and Jurgen begged him to stay.
Yeah.
And then before Salah announced he was going, he stayed for Jurgen, and now Jurgen's saying that he's going. So it's almost like a battle of, oh, you're leaving before me now, and maybe that offer won't come to the table. Giving him 8 minutes away at West Ham, that's a joke. That's disrespectful to one of the Premier League legends. And Spurs, they've had a very quiet April, to be honest. And they've had a lot of time on the training ground, but it's unusual because they were 3-0 down to Arsenal very quickly. You almost think, what have they been doing all this time?
Anything could happen, Theo. It's only 1 win in 5 for Liverpool. Their title hopes have gone. I'm sorry, they're going to finish 3rd. And I think Spurs are going to finish 5th. I think Aston Villa, 7 points ahead. They're going to pip them. Liverpool win this narrowly. I think it's going to be 2-1. Well, do you know what, Theo? If people want to read more about this game, because it's a fascinating encounter, you've got the news section here, and you can read assessing the role Spurs could play in the Premier League title race, what Liverpool fans can expect from Football Maniac slot. You've got all your interesting stuff there. It's a brilliant app.
Yeah, it's already thinking about the new manager of the club going into next season, which I love. Liverpool 2, Tottenham 2. Definitely a good match to watch for the neutral.
Tottenham kind of need a result here.
I know you're a Tottenham fan, so if anyone's going to predict a Tottenham win, it's you. Are you going to do it?
Yes, I am. I'm going to stick with my heart ruling my head. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-1.
That's the weekend complete, Dad. We are done with Premier League predictions, aren't we?
Well, Theo, let's take a look at Monday. Is anything going on Monday? Click that. Oh, well, I'll tell you what.
It's a Premier League game.
On Monday, there's Crawley against MK Dons. There's Crewe against Doncaster. But more importantly, Crystal Palace against Manchester United, which is 14th against 6th. These are two teams,
More
Theo.
importantly, Dad, you've just annoyed the whole of Crawley Town. You're never welcome there again.
I'm welcoming Crawley all the time. Some decent pubs, probably. Let's talk about Crystal Palace and Man United.
Let's go to
14th
South
against
London.
6th. Two teams, Theo, who've not lost in the last 4 games.
I think this, if Palace go and win,
Yeah.
you know, with Eze and Elise back, they could as well. This could be the final go. Bye-bye, Ten Hag.
Crystal Palace, this is really interesting, Theo. They are the favourites to win this game. 10 points in 4 games. And I know we always mention Elise and Eze. Let's talk about Jeffrey Slupp. Did you see that goal he scored
Wonder
last
goal.
week? This is a wonderful team, Crystal Palace.
Mateta scores goals, doesn't he?
He scored 4 in 3 games?
Oliver Glasner's turning it around. He was watching, I think, some Lakers or something in
Yes,
America, or Miami
yeah.
Heat. He was watching basketball out there, chilling with the Crystal Palace director. Now he'll be back for a big Palace win. Who knows what'll happen? Yeah.
It's not looking great for Man United. I think this is going to be a 1-1 draw.
I'm going to go 1-0 Crystal Palace. Low scoring. Let's go to Mark for the final game.
I'm a Croydon boy. I was born
yeah.
in Croydon, so Crystal Palace was my local club. The way that they're finishing this season is just incredible. Man United obviously still trying to get the European spots and like hanging on to that almost with very indifferent form. I'm going Palace 2-0 home win.
And don't forget to click the first link in description and download the Flash Score app. It's completely free.
Thank you to Flash Scores for that. I'm going to put some petrol in the car because Flash Scores says that tomorrow at 7:30, Bolton Wanderers are playing in Barnsley. Right, go and book the Premier in.
I don't know where he's going. See you in a bit.